Where we at? What's up? Are we up? Can you hear me? Are we on? Are we live? Yeah. What's up this morning? How's everybody doing? Welcome in. Welcome to the live. Thank you for being here this morning. Are we ready to walk, people? Are we ready to do this? You know what we do in the morning, people. We get up and we go. We come to the show. Let's go. Hey, yeah. Where we at this morning? Who do we got there? Sergio. Arjo, is that Arjo Sergio? Seer. Good morning, what's up? Let's get started, people. Let's get this work in. Let's get this walk in. Let's hustle, people. Let's get to it. We're losing daylight. Where you at? What you doing this morning? Make sure you check in. Drop in the chat below. Where you from? What time it is? Where you are? Let's do this morning. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up this morning. As you know, it's the same every morning. It's about the rebirth, people. It's about getting out here. It's about understanding that in order for us to make it anywhere, in order for us to challenge the norm, in order for us to change the narrative, as they say, we need to all be a part of our own journey, know our own purpose. Don't let anyone push us off of it. This morning, we're walking. What we're going to talk about is how to turn your spending into investing. Spend money like a millionaire. Put away your sensitivities. If you're sensitive and your feelings get hurt easily, this might not be the one for you to come to this morning. If you got thin skin and you don't like dealing with yourself and you don't like being self-aware or criticism, maybe this isn't the one you need to be at. Maybe you need to come back on Sunday when we have a less challenging topic where we're less demanding and less upfront and critical, less self-aware and taking less responsibility. That doesn't happen on Sundays either. But this morning, we're going to take a close look at what we do. We want to make careful consideration of who we are, what we do, and how much responsibility we're going to take for it. Question is, are you ready for that this morning? Are you ready for that at all? Are you ready for that in your life? Are you ready to be motivated to do your best? That's all you can do, people. You can never do more than 100%. You can do less, but you can't do more. Can't do more than 100%. Your best is the best you have. There's no such thing as 110%. If you go from giving 100% to 110%, that means you weren't giving 100% at first. There's only 100%. That's all you have. You can only be as tall as you are. You can only do as best as you can. The question is, are you ready to test the limits of what's your best? And today we're going to talk about the discipline required to turn your spending into investing, people. How to live like a millionaire. How to stop throwing your money out the window. How to change what you do. How this dynamic of compounding grows on top of each other. How you can learn how simple things that you do can come back to you. Right? People, you need to stop hating on it. Stop hating on the ways that money is made. Stop hating on the ways in which people work and start working on our own. Let's go this morning, people. Let's get up. Hey, yo. It is 4:56, people. It is almost 5 o'clock in the morning. It is a Friday. And we are burning daylight, people. Let's get up. Let's get at it. Let's learn the truth about ourselves. Let's learn the truth about our commitment. Let's learn the truth about who we really are, how determined we are. Right? Let's find out if we're even in the game, people. Are we even participating? Are we even a part of the conversation? Are we standing on the sideline criticizing everybody else's behavior? Millionaire mindset. What we deal with here, as always, is going to be discipline. Discipline is really simple, people. The 2DS has broken it down and made it simple for you. The 2DS has explained to you that discipline is repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. Those 4 things, when layered and implemented, are the definition of discipline. You use those pillars to create a foundation upon which you seek mastery. And on your way to mastery, you are guaranteed, I mean guaranteed, to see success, people. It's not a question about whether or not you be successful. It is guaranteed. As you come in this morning, as always, people, drop in where you're checking in from, what time of day it is. Let us know. Welcome to this Friday. It is fantastic. Time to talk about our future. Time to identify and build our fortune. Time to know for a fact that we're moving forward, people. Always forward Fridays, people. Never going back. 11 p.m. Hawaii. RKS, welcome in. Good to see you again, RKS. It is indeed that time. Thank you for being here, guys. Today is about the consistency. It's about all the elements of discipline, but definitely about the consistency necessary in order for you to learn the millionaire mindset of how to turn your spending into investing, people. So have you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about how to take the money that you put out into the world on a regular basis and have that money come back to you? How you take the money that you use in your regular life and have it come back to you? Of course, we've thought about it. That's why they created cash back cards. Oh, use this card, buy this, we'll give you cash back. They started off with like rewards cards. There used to be years ago this catalog where if you purchase things from the catalog, they would give you more credits to go towards the catalog so you could get free things from the catalog. Now we've changed. GMC used to have a credit card where if you used the credit card, you could get rewards points back without a limit on the rewards points. and use that towards future purchases. They had no limit on it. They rolled over, you could stockpile them. So a gentleman that I opened a gym with up in Clarksburg, Maryland, told me a story about how his parents used that credit card to pay for everything for him and his brother as they were growing up. And then after using that card to pay for practically everything, including their college tuition, when it was time for him to move out and buy a vehicle with his then pregnant wife, they took the points, they went in and negotiated with GMC to buy a new vehicle, to trade in the old one. They got the best possible price. And then they say, oh, by the way, could you check this card and see how many points are on it? And they end up getting a brand new vehicle for about $5,000 total, because they spent wisely. They made sure that the money that they spent found a way to come back to them. So what does this let us know? There are a lot of places that we go. There are a lot of places that we spend money, and millionaires do this all the time. I'm about to put a name out there for you guys so you can identify what I'm talking about. Donald Trump does this all the time. Why not put your name on what you're doing? Why not put your title on what you're doing? Why not own what you're doing? Why do we have all of these places with his name on them? Because it doesn't matter whether it's a failure or a success. When you stamp your name on it, people are recognizing you, people are knowing you, but also you're getting money back where you're spending money. You need a belt? Okay. Come up with a name, come up with a tag. Wear your belt. Get it custom made. Order 100 of them. Put them online for sale. You need a belt anyway. People order them, you sell them, your belt pays for itself. It's the same thing if you need a t-shirt. Do you need a hat? Need a cap? You see why this cap is unbranded? Because I'm gonna have a bunch of caps in a box. It's gonna have my logo on them. And they're gonna be available for sale in the shop, right here on the channel. You come up with an idea, cap pays for itself. You get the opportunity to do this for yourself. You get to spend with the mindset of investing. I don't care if you need a shirt. I don't care if you need shoes, pants, suit, brand it. Put your name on it, invest in yourself. Watch the money come back. Cashback cards are a great thing, but are you using them correctly? Are you just out there spending money, or are you investing money? Are you taking the opportunity to understand that what you're doing has a return to it? It has a value to it. Do you value it? We have to learn the mindset of how to turn our spending into investing. In so many ways, we have an opportunity to do this. This is why I encourage people. LLCs are young. LLCs are very young. LLC to be established and maintained in the state of Maryland, LLC starts at about $350, people. $350. Now, if you invest in your LLC and establish your LLC, everyone thinks the LLC is solely for the purpose of saying, hey, it's protection. You know, it's how you protect people from coming after your personal value, your personal wealth. And that is the mistake, is that we only view a LLC, a limited liability corporation, as a way to protect our money, instead of viewing it as a way to turn our life, our actual life, into a business. Turn everything that we do into a business. In small ways, the things that we do in our life are things that we feel like, hey, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just, for example, I was saying before on one of the previous walk-in talks, hey, let's not just spend money frivolously. Let's not just go out here and throw money at things. Let's not waste money. We have to be smart with our money. And so I was talking about spending and shopping, and someone responded, man, that's just getting the bag. It is just getting the bag, unless you're doing it through your LLC, unless you're doing it through your company, and spending that money is serving a purpose. So if we take a look at Donald Trump, what is he actually doing? He's living his life as a business. Everything he does is a business decision. Every action he takes is a business action. So what does he do? He leverages everything on his business. So why aren't we capable of doing that? It's because we're thinking too small. All we can understand is the process of being able to put things out, to consume, to spend money. That mindset has to change. We have to do better with our mindset. And the first thing that it requires, and I always fall back to this, people, is it's going to require discipline. Because I can give you all the strategies. I can tell you all the ways. I can encourage you with all the things to do. But if we lack discipline, if we do not understand that it's going to take time and it's going to take us focused on the goal and working towards it, then we're not going to hit it. We're not going to make it. If you lack discipline, if we lack the ability to understand that it takes action on our part, we need to know where we're going, what it is we're trying to do, and not just being out here randomly taking actions for the sake of taking actions, then we're going to always be challenged to achieve our goal. We're going to always have difficulty of figuring out what to do and maintaining our course. That's why it's important, people. That's why on these walk and talks, the conversation, no matter where it starts, always comes back to the same thing. I don't care if you're focused on your finances, your faith, your family, your fitness. It doesn't matter in which of these areas you're focused on. If you lack discipline, you do not have the ability to achieve the things that you're seeking to achieve. If you can't stay focused, if you don't have a plan, then we're just taking action. There is a difference between being busy and being productive. Even productivity has to have a question mark to it. They've done research recently about the fact that people spend time in the office a work day, which is funny. It used to just be a day. Like you wake up, you go to work. So thank God for me not being born in that time. So a work day used to be you awoke, you working, right? But we still live in that possibility because you're awake, you can work on yourself. You can start that work on you. But when you go and you exchange your time for someone else's money, they did research on how much of that time is actually productive. How much of the time that people spend on their jobs is time where they're actually being productive. And they found that for most people, regardless of the amount of time that they spend on the clock, productivity is about 4 hours. Be it you have an 8-hour day, and the longer the day gets, the smaller part of that 4 hours is actually productive, right? We're talking about 8-hour day, we're talking about a 10-hour day, whatever it is. They're showing that for about 4 hours of that time, people are actually being productive, right? On average. And if you're working a manual labor job, just imagine if you're working a manual labor job where you're carrying bricks, where you're loading and unloading heavy items, and they're talking about the time that you're actually being productive, picking things up and moving them, the wear and tear on your body to go towards somebody else's purpose for even 4 hours. Imagine working out for 4 hours. Imagine just picking a weight up for 4 hours. Just get a 25-pound weight, and for 4 hours, pick it up and carry it from one end of the aerobics room to the other. Just pick it up, sit it down, Walk to one side, walk back, pick it up, walk it back over. Walk over it back, pick it up, walk it back over. Imagine doing that for 4 hours. Imagine the labor of that. Imagine the physical input of that. This is what I'm talking about in terms of being able to understand what actual productivity is. And this is what we're talking about in our lives, being productive and learning how to be productive with our money. If you have a cash back card, use it. If you're gonna pay for things anyway, pay for the, dude, Americans are so far in debt as consumers because we just have the ability to purchase, right? We don't understand the reason why we're purchasing, what the focus is on. We don't have an understanding of the future. We have to always pay into our future, right? I am of the mindset that we need to turn our lives into our legacy. And the way you move your legacy forward is in a LLC for smaller individuals, people. That's how we start the process. I was recently having conversations with one of my sisters, and as challenging as it was for her and her husband to start their business of doing real estate, they ultimately found that, you know what? This real estate gig, as far as rental income versus investment, it takes years for it to catch up. It takes a significant number of properties for it to happen. So we have to learn, we have to understand that, hey, you know what the concern is? You know what the big deal is investing in real estate? Is everyone is under the impression, I'm gonna get 2 or 3 apartments, I'm gonna rent it out, man. Once I buy this thing, I'm gonna make $1,500 a month in rent. I only need 3 of them and I can retire. I can $4,500 a month, I can live off of that. But you have to understand that there's more to it than that. We have to sit down and take the time to learn, right? We have to sit down and talk to people. We have to sit down and figure out what exactly has to go into it. And once we go through that process, you understand that the real power of owning property is the legacy you build for the people that come after you. For a lot of us, for a lot of people, and I get it, for a lot of people, I don't need all that. You know, I'm not looking for all that. Like, I don't need that to be happy. That's fine. What I'm telling you is if you're even looking for less, if you're looking to do less, if that's not your focus for your future, you still have to invest in the same way. You still have to invest in yourself the same way, and understanding that the work that you do on your purpose is for you. The work that you do on your goal is for you. Working on you allows for you to live the life you want to live. And it still requires discipline. It still requires getting up. It still requires getting ready. It still requires moving forward and growing. I want to thank you guys for being here this morning. As I said earlier, if you have not had the opportunity, as you check in, guys, please drop into the chat what time of day it is and where you're checking in from. Let me know if you're at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, or whether or not you're in the middle of your day. Are you on lunch? We're all over the place, people. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're doing today. What type of plans do you have? What are we working on? It's a pleasure to have you guys here. As you know, this is all a part of my journey. All of the research, all of the things that I'm telling you about are because they're the things that I'm involved in. They're the things that my wife and I are doing. It's an understanding that we had to come from some difficult places. We had to learn some difficult lessons. Just for my wife and I, having to understand that only a couple of years ago, as a family, we were nearly $50,000 in debt on credit cards. Just consuming. We had cash back cards. We had cards for stores. We had cards for credit building, secured credit cards. But we were spending, we were consuming. Excuse me, but there had to be a transition. We had to change our mindset from being consumers to being custodians. We had to change our mindset to understand that we have a responsibility to pass on a legacy, an opportunity, and pass on fortune, pass on a mindset, pass on an understanding to our future, to our children, to our grandchildren. There was a recent study done about blacks in America, about how many of them know their grandfather and how many of them know their great-grandfather, how far back they go in terms of naming who these people are in their lives. And on a pretty consistent basis, people could name their grandmothers, but they weren't able to name their grandparents, not their grandfathers, not their granddads. And so what was the reason for this? And then there's a whole bunch of, oh, the system created this, and oh, you don't understand, so many people were lost to this and lost to that. But the main thing is, you remember people who've left something to you, right? You want to be remembered, and this isn't about race, people. If you really want to be remembered, there's this thing, I even reposted it, that says a couple of 100 years from now, nobody's going to know your name. No one's going to be thinking about you. No one's going to be talking about you. That's not true for everyone, because what you can do is you can leave a legacy. And your legacy doesn't have to be a legacy to the world. Your legacy could be the legacy for your family. It can be what you do. It can be what you do now, understanding this for the future, right? And so now, to understand the difference between the things that are the right thing to do and the things that are sacrifices, is a sacrifice means that you have to give up something. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, people, and this is really important. You have to understand what it really means to sacrifice. Not doing something that you shouldn't be doing anyway is not a sacrifice. A sacrifice is giving up something that is important for you for the better good of your purpose. That's what a true sacrifice is. Giving up something that you care about. I love gaming. So what? It's not paying into your legacy. It's not building your future. It's not giving your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren the head start that they need, the launching point that we want them to have. Okay, let's give up gaming. Let's give up this $1,200 a year habit. We have to understand that if we're talking about really moving forward and building a legacy, then we have to talk about all the different ways in which it can be done. And true sacrifice means that we have to look at things that right now we feel like we can't live without. And we have to find a way to forego them for the future of our family. Can you see it? Can you understand? Do you have a plan? Do you have a purpose? Do you know why you're not doing the things you're not doing? Do you know why you're not going out and hanging out in the bars anymore at 27? Do you know why you're not putting all of your money into frivolous things like the most expensive pair of shoes you can find, into the most expensive belts? Do you know why? Do you understand why you are doing what you're doing? If you don't have a plan, you don't have a purpose, you can't get then that means you're not in the mindset to understand what you're moving towards. I'm working my 9-to-5 graveyard shift. Okay, RKS. A graveyard shift comes to an end. Isn't that that 11 to 7? Or is that a 3 to 11? You should be getting off if it's the 3 to 11. So what do we know, guys? So what are we saying here? What have I been saying all morning, right? 5 to 5. Oh my goodness, 12 hours. You 4 on, 3 off. You work at a 12-hour shift. That's 4 days on, 3 days off, isn't it? So what are we really learning right now? We're learning that we have to understand, in order for us to be able to know where we're going, if we're going to be exchanging our time 12 hours at a time, we're going to be giving them 4 days on and 4 days off, we have to understand this isn't just for us to be able to buy tennis shoes or pay a mortgage. This isn't for us to just be able to go out and buy a car or be able to eat fancy meals. We're exchanging something. If all we're thinking about is what we're going to do with what we get, we lose out on the opportunities to be able to do so much for so many others. We have to understand that we can serve a purpose. We have to understand that there's a direction in which we can go. We have to understand what we're building, and we have to understand our part in it, people. Always, I'm here. I want to encourage you guys. I'm here to challenge you. I'm letting you know, like I said, this isn't the morning to have sensitive skin on. This isn't the morning to be here and think that it's going to be nice and lovey-dovey. You gotta make some tough decisions. We gotta stop walking around here and acting like it doesn't matter. Acting like the $5 here and $10 there don't matter. If it doesn't matter, then stop spending it. Put it somewhere where it can work for you. Understand how to turn our life into a business, to live like we matter. Start paying back into our own lives. They say you have to pay yourself first. LLCs in the United States were created in 1977. That's within my lifetime. I'm 5 years older than the oldest LLC ever created. You have to understand, in order for us to start really moving forward, we need to understand, why were these vehicles created? What were they designed to do? And what haven't we done with them yet? We have to learn what leverage is. Leverage is the new credit. Stop leveraging to borrow. We need to leverage to buy. If you can only leverage $50,000, then find a way to leverage $50,000 and buy something with it that your business owns. If you can only leverage $75,000, then find something to buy. Find a property or a land to buy for $75,000 and then leverage that as well. This is what I'm trying to say to you, is that as we start to design ways in order to build our future, we have to. And I get it. As we get older, we get tired. You're like, I've been doing it. I've been grinding at it. I've been working at it to build it for years. Great. Now we have to build a team. We have to build a group of people around us who understand what our goal is, so we can continue to grow, so we can pass on this legacy, people. I know it's possible. It's what we're working on. It's what my wife and I are doing now, establishing LLCs. We've had to establish LLCs in multiple states, but they're all the same. We have to move items, and we're slowly doing it. Remember, as I told you 2 years ago, from being $50,000 in credit card debt, paying this debt off, building our future, establishing the LLCs to be able to not only move our personal property over into, but to acquire additional property. Understanding that everything that we pay into our future. I'm not saying it doesn't have any cost. I'm not saying that it's going to be cheap. I'm not even saying it's going to be easy, but there has to be some sacrifices made. There are some tough times we had to go through. There are some times when we would like to have eaten out where we couldn't. We've had to tighten the belt. We've had to understand what a budget means and to live below your means. There is understanding. In order for you to grow, you have to know what you're growing into, where you're going. You cannot reach a destination if all you know are the name of the roads and you don't know where you're going. I don't care if you know every highway and every road around you. If you don't have a destination, you're just driving. And that is not productive. Just because you're active, just because you're busy, just because you can't be reached, just because you're doing something does not mean that you're being productive. We need to work with a purpose for a reason. Ricky, what did you say? Learn how to invest. If you know how to do the wheel strategy and you have 50K, you can make easily $800 to $1,500 a week. I'm not familiar with the wheel strategy, but Ricky, make sure you put it up on your channel so people can come see exactly what you're talking about, and you can share that. I'll be looking for it, Ricky. But what I do know about is I do know about leveraging. Leveraging the 401k. First, we had to leverage the 401k for about $8,000. We took that $8,000 to help establish and set up our original LLC. We took it to create a business bank account, and we started paying. We had to learn some tough lessons. There were some things we didn't know. There are some new things that have been added. There are some things that had to change. But by establishing that LLC, it gave us our first look. It gave us our first glance inside the world of being to set things up as a business. And then the real savings are in what we save on our taxes, but the real productivity and was what we're able to do with that business and how that business is viewed differently than us as individuals. But here's the thing. You have to create it, and you have to start to live like a business. You have to set your personal expenses and your personal purchases aside and let the business do the work that the business is supposed to do. Ricky, I see you making some more comments. I love what you're saying, brother, about the LLC. I'm thinking about switching all my funds into a S Corp and then leveraging more money to make triple my gains. Knowledge is power. It indeed is. What do you like better, S Corp or LLC? Until you reach a certain number of people, good morning, what's going on, Ryan? Until you get a certain number of people employed up under your LLC, or your LLC is making a certain dollar amount, and I would definitely talk to a tax attorney about it, I prefer the LLC. I prefer the LLC because they have less requirements in order to establish and maintain them. S Corps have been around a lot longer than LLCs have been around. They have some other pass-through options as far as taxes are concerned with the S Corp. But for most people, establishing the LLC, the cost, the requirements of the number of board members, and the amount of work that you can do with it, and how quickly that you can work with the LLC, once you establish that it's actually an ongoing business, I prefer the LLC for those reasons, right? It's quick, it's handy, it allows for you to do a lot of different things. You can organize other LLCs, you can build a group. You want to be careful, make sure you're doing everything legally, and make sure that you're getting the legal advice to do it correctly. But I do prefer the LLC. Good morning, Devon. How are you doing this morning? Guys, I want to thank you all for being here. As you know, I'm here every morning. We come on between 4:30 and 5. We take this walk and talk. I appreciate everyone being here this morning. I appreciate you sharing and being a part. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your day. And as always, guys, have a great day and God bless.